Markets are pumping. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. The thesis of the markets absolutely exploding was correct. Over the last year, we had the thesis of AI, but underlying, we had the thesis of Bitcoin ETF approvals, as well as undervalued stocks that had massive exposure to any sort of crypto upside. I talked about a couple companies earlier on in the year that I knew were going to do extremely well. The first one being Coinbase stock. Coinbase simply being one of the largest shareholders of Bitcoin in the world. Not only that, but they are acting for a lot of the upcoming ETFs as the custodian. As you guys know, banks and funds aren't necessarily familiar with how Bitcoin works. So having a custodian is important. In this case, Coinbase is one of them. The second stock that I recommended was BlackRock. The BlackRock simply being the fact that they're going to have Bitcoin exposure, therefore their stock is going to do extremely well. I think I called the stock at about 690 or $700. Not super early, but it was merely under the premise of what is happening with the ETF. Will probably most likely sell it off upon any sort of approval or a few days after. Finally, is understanding when information hits social media, it is most likely already underway, or the play is already well underway. When you see things on Twitter, you need to understand, especially from big accounts, you need to understand that once it hits social media, it's not just one person seeing it, right? So you need to act accordingly. Next is over leverage. I see a lot of people already sending me screenshots of over leveraged positions, right? Extremely over leveraged. Yeah, okay, you made a ton of money on Doge, like I just called it, but you shouldn't be over leveraging, especially in these parts of the market. You should be degenerate at the bottom, not a degenerate at the pico top of the calendar year, regardless of what's happening, right? It's just not intelligent. So, under the premise that you need to be exposed to collateral businesses, right? Businesses that have collateral damage to any sort of price movement of Bitcoin. You saw MicroStrategy, you saw Coinbase. I'm under the premise that PayPal is going to do the same. I have some thesis with PayPal. Not only the fact that it's an extremely profitable business with great IP, but the fact that they do have crypto exposure and they are in some way, shape, or form now with their stablecoin potentially priming themselves to take on some sort of trading aspect like a Coinbase in inside of kind of the crypto space. Do not once these ETFs get approved and Bitcoin becomes mainstream, I would not put it past these platforms like Coinbase or even payment infrastructures like Zelle to be able to allow money movement of this nature or even trading to be taking place. That's why I'm super big on PayPal, even though I'm still under, I think, about 15 to 18% on the trade. So I'm down a couple $1 million, but it is what it is. Anyways, the point being, guys, the markets are getting hot. Don't spend too much time on socials. You need to be gem hunting in Telegrams, in Discords, in the trenches, not looking at what influencers are saying. Take what influencers are saying and understand the thesis behind it and go do your research. Two, don't over leverage. A lot of you guys are over leveraging. You don't have no plan. You have no objective. Okay, so you need to have a plan and objective for that specific trade. And understanding, guys, that consistency compounds on these wins. It's you don't want to be the person that wins super big and then lose super big. I've been there. I've done that. Don't be that individual. And then finally, pay attention to all the collateral businesses, all the collateral chains, and all the collateral ecosystems, whether it's AI, whether it's layer two chains, whether it's DeFi, whether it's loan protocols, whether it's gaming, whether it's NFTs or Web3. There's so many different verticals right now in crypto that just looking at Bitcoin in of itself is not necessarily the most productive if Bitcoin goes up. And I do believe that Bitcoin, if this ETF gets approved, I don't know what the fair price of a Bitcoin is. So I don't even know what the fair price for anything really is nowadays. The money's so convoluted, it's kind of crazy. But if we see Bitcoin do extremely well, everything else will follow. Maybe not directly, but at a lagging indicator due to liquidity kind of moving from boring positions to more extreme positions and high risk positions. So we see large caps, mid caps, low cap shit coins, and then higher risk assets like NFTs or certain digital collectibles as kind of the pico top before everything cycles back on its way around. So be paying attention, be smart. If you have no idea what you're doing, it's not that you're missing out. It's the fact that you should have gotten educated over the last 6-7 years on this entire space. And if you're not, you have some serious catching up to do, not some gambling to do. We don't promote any of that shit, right? Like the goal is not to be out here nuking your bags. The goal is out here to understand how to slowly grow your chips and to build your chips in a way that is sustainable. So with that being said, appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful Saturday. Peep the charts. Never hurts. And remember that one thing is to make money. Another thing is to multiply it. And to multiply it, you have to find low risk, high reward situations as the vehicles that are going to get you there. More things cooking. Gem Hunters team is being recruited. Applications are going out later this month. Be on the lookout because it is going to be absolutely phenomenal. So with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Talk soon. Re-listen to these data sets. They're expiring in 24 hours. Let's go.